Hey, it's 4 p.m. Thursday, and that means, it's time for another episode of Tune Into Life. It's the show where we go the stories behind the music. So behind the band, the song, the album, anything about the band. So today we're going to talk about Mudhoney, the quintessential grunge band. Some music historians credit them with having the first grunge song, and this is it. So I'll see you in about 3 minutes. And here's the song that some say started it all. Come on, baby, come with me. You don't come, you die. All right. Anyway, it's Mudhoney's first song called "Touch Me, I'm Sick," and it's really funny to listen to people like go back and forth. Oh, what's the meaning of the song? And like, there's some people because it was in 1988. Some people are going, oh, are they talking about those? Like when AIDS was coming big, I mean, not big, but becoming an epidemic, there are some people who actually went out there and had unprotected sex that were HIV positive, which is just bullshit. That's just stupid to do. Why would you do that? Anyway, they said, oh, it's about that song because "Touch Me, I'm Sick," and if you don't come, then you'll die, and that kind of thing. Well, guess what? It has nothing to friggin' do that. And I thought that was like too deep for Mudhoney. Not that they're not thinkers. I love Mudhoney. It's one of my favorite bands. But basically, the story I heard through the grapevine was that the president of Sub Pop kind of used that as like a catchphrase, "Touch me, I'm sick." So so Mark Arm and some of the other guys that ended up in Mudhoney previously were in Green River, and then other members of Green River split off and did Temple of the Dog, then became Pearl Jam, like Jeff Ament and all those guys. So it's a really good founding. Anyways, Green River had a huge reputation. They didn't sell that many records, but everybody, if you said Green River in the Pacific Northwest and, mid 80s, like, oh yeah, they're good. And so they had a good reputation with Sub Pop, which Sub Pop and Pop Llama were the two sides of the main Seattle local label. And they hadn't like burst out yet. They were big in Seattle. They were big nationally with Soundgarden and Nirvana. I think Soundgarden's second album and Nirvana second or third. Bleach technically is an EP. So their first album, Sub Pop basically coordinated with a larger label, and they became Nirvana exploded. But Mudhoney, so Touch Me I'm Sick, was actually supposed to be a B-side. It's a pretty cool story. I love things like this because you can never plan what's going to break, what's going to become viral. Even back then, before social media was big, things became viral in different ways. So Touch Me I'm Sick was supposed to be the B-side of their first single. So basically the Sub Pop, the president, and then the AR guy, those are the people that look for the talent, said, hey, you know what? We trust you. You have a great reputation with Green River. We're pretty sure Mudhoney's gonna make it. So why don't you just go into the studio, record a couple of demos so we can hear what you sound like? Because at that time, Mudhoney had just formed in its quintessential self, and they hadn't really written any songs. And so they just kind of went goofing. And Touch Me I'm Sick was a catchphrase that the Sub Pop guy used. And so Mark Arm, the main songwriter, lead singer, kind of said, oh yeah, let's just do a song in this. And so I put together a basic riff, and they just went raunchy and come on baby, play with me. Anyway, it was really good, and that one just became viral, and that was supposed to be a demo, and then that's how Mudhoney began. So it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty cool story. You might think it's boring, whatever. Hey, Teresa and Wayne, welcome. But yeah, it's just a cool song. And some music historians, I don't claim to be a music historian. I am a music historian, but I'm a music historian of my life as it relates to music. So Mudhoney was the first grunge band I heard. I'm not, a lot of music historians will say this is the first grunge song, first grunge band. And they're grungy. They stayed grungy. And some of the life lessons, because this is where you learn to compose your life like a symphony. So some of the life lessons today will be related to that. Mudhoney grinded and grunged, if you will. And they grinded and grunge, and they're still doing it today. They're still playing live. They're still making new music. They're still doing covers. They're still rocking it on stage. So that's pretty cool. And some of the life lessons we talk about, we will learn that today. So anyway, Mudhoney by some music historians, first grunge band, and Touch Me I'm Sick, first grunge song ever. So that's pretty cool. So let's get to our first quote of the day. It's from Bruce Lee, martial artist, actor. Was he really an actor? It was just a martial artist who they filmed. I don't know. I like his films. I'm not going to say anything. So he was an actor to me. Anyway, the idea is that flowing water never goes stale. So just keep on flowing. Yes. La, 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 la. I like that. So there's a whole book. There's like a book on flow. The guy who wrote the book on flow did not invent flow. But flow, I mean, there was neuroscientists and neuropsychologists. And if you don't know, if you've ever heard flow, you've probably done flow. So flow is that state you get in where you're in your process of creating. And it doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of people equate creating with, I wrote a song, or I wrote a story, or, that kind of the creative arts like movies, music, painting, all that kind of stuff. That's not true. Everybody creates, even an accountant. Yes. I'm using accountant because tax season just ended. So even accountants get creative. Usually, when you hear the phrase creative accounting, that's not a good thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who learn how to do things. They're an expert in something, and they're so in depth with that, and they just become in flow. So like an accountant would do a spreadsheet, and then it'd be a huge spreadsheet for like a multi-billion-dollar company, and they'd just be doing the books with their people, and they just so get into it, and they get in the flow. And this is how you know you were in the flow. You started a task or doing something, and you might have realized what time it was. Say, oh, I looked at the clock, it was 3 p.m. Then the next time you look at the clock, it's 9 p.m. and you don't remember anything that happened from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's being in the flow. And I'm not talking you drank too much or you smoked too much or you did some, mind altering stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you were so into what you were doing that you just got into the flow that your neurons were just firing. Bing, 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 bing. You were thinking really fast and you're just doing all this stuff and it just came out of you and you just did it. And you weren't really thinking about it. That is what we call flow. Hey, Jackie, thanks for showing up. So that's what we call flow. And I think Mudhoney is just in the flow. They never really changed their style. They didn't change their sound. And that's okay because they're just good. I love them the way they are. I mean, to me, they're the main, if I think of grunge, I go, oh, Mudhoney. Because other people like Nirvana, if you listen to Nirvana's first, can't remember if it was EP or an LP, but it's Bleach. That's my favorite Nirvana collection of work. It is grungy. It is raw. It's like we recorded this in our garage with a 2-track. I know there's no such thing. 2-track tape player, and we just and Kurt kicked in Chris Novelesic's amp, and Dave Grohl just pushed over their drums, and yeah. So anyway, but Bleached was just to me that's the grungiest Nirvana ever was. Now I love Nirvana, but Nevermind and Utero and all of that in between was great music. But they got kind of a little smooth for the grunge thing. Mudhoney never got smooth, and that's what I love about him. So what's the first life lesson we can learn? Well, let's just go back to the flow lesson one more time. So Bruce Lee said the idea is that flowing water never goes stale, so just keep on flowing. And as it relates to this song, historically by some, the first grunge song, the first grunge band, if you keep creating, you will keep flowing. And if you keep flowing, you will keep winning. So you all out there in the audience, whether you're seeing this live or in replay, you got to figure out where your creative flow comes from. Because even though flow, once you're doing it, you're not realizing it because you're in the flow. I know I'm going to overuse that word this show, but I don't care. So even though you're in the flow, you can figure out, one, where your area of flow is. Like, what are you so good at and interested at, and where you create in your little knot hole and go there, and then eventually you'll get into flow. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's so satisfactory. You just feel fully alive, even though you're in the flow and you may not be aware of every second. Just that time when you're in the flow, you're just jazzing like, yeah, baby. And that's when you're your true self, I think. Because when I'm in the flow, it's a great feeling. So get there, figure out what makes you in the flow and get there. So how that relates to Mudhoney, like I said, is if you keep creating, you will keep flowing. And if you keep flowing, you will keep winning. I believe the most successful people in the world know their flow and get there as often as possible. Some will say, like in the book Flow, it says you can't really force yourself to the flow, which I believe, but I think you can know what really gets you jazzed and you work in that area, and then you will more than likely hit the flow more than other folks around you. So go with the flow, man. Go with the flow. Okay, let's go to the second quote of the day. And Jacob Schwer must be in the flow. And right now. Is he here? Is Pappy here? Where is Pappy? Here, I'm typing a message. Where is Pappy? Teresa, inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, it's Selma Blair. If you don't know her, she's an actress. And she said, perhaps I've managed some sort of longevity because I haven't won the lead roles. So to me, I love Selma Blair. She is hilarious. She's been in so many good movies. I think lately, her last few films, I think she was the lead person. But what she's saying, and it'll relate to the quote, and it relates to Mudhoney perfectly. Yeah, Mark Benko not here. Yeah, I just figured Teresa knows where he is and he's in the flow somewhere. Anyway, as usual, Wayne Gabriel's distracting me because he likes to watch me go off the rails. And I never really go off the rails. I kind of spin. I'm like a big, train engine, and I'm riding on two rails kind of there. And then eventually it comes back down and slides right into the rails, and then I'm in the flow. So here we're going back. Ha ha, Wayne, I'm back in the flow. Anyway. So I already forgot what the second quote was. Oh, no. So Selma Blair. So she's a famous actress. If you don't know her, look her up. She's actually very funny, but she can do serious stuff too. But kind of what she's saying is you don't have to be at the top in order to be successful. In fact, some people never aspire to be the top. In fact, I acted for, if you count stuff I did when I was 4 years old, probably acted for 40 years. And, I was, as far as actors go, the most I made in 1 year as an actor was like a little over $38,000, which is something. But everybody thinks, ooh, the big guys, the Brad Pitts and, I can't think of any more famous actors right now. They make like millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's true. But most actors make shit. They don't make anything ever. They do. And that's okay because they like it. They're in the flow. It's just something they create. So actually, as a professional actor, I did okay. I was in, Unsolved Mysteries, a couple Unsolved Mysteries. I was in Northern Exposure, did a Big Red commercial. I was in a movie with Mira Winningham, just blah, 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 blah. And I was in a bunch of plays, and I was in a bunch of UCLA student films, which I hope none of them come to light because some of them were pretty darn bad. Anyway, it won't matter because I'm not going to be a famous big actor. But I know there's like some actors you like see them in tens, if not hundreds, if you watch that many movies, but you can't remember the name. Like, who the heck is it? Like, I don't know. One of my favorite creative film teams is the Coen brothers, and their first film was Blood Simple. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go rent it, go find it, go watch it. Anyways, there's this actor. There's actually two actors in there, Harry Dean Stanton and Emmett Walsh. So those two guys were in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of movies, but almost nobody knows their name. But you know what? They were successful. They were character actors. They had a character. So Emmett Walsh, you have to go, see, I know that guy. He's from blah, 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 but you would never know his name. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying you don't have to be a top of the game. And you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Well, let's go to life lesson because I already alluded what it's to. So you don't have to be at the top of your field to succeed. The ocean is full of sharks. Find your niche and grind the hell out of it. That's what I say. So a lot of you've heard blue ocean, red ocean, blah, blah, blah. If you do any sales funnels or anything like that, they always talk about it. You're the little guy. You got to find your niche or your sub niche of your niche, and you work there, and you can do it better than the big guy, and and that's how you create an audience, and that's how you make money, and all that is true. But what that relates to is you don't have to be at the top of your field. So Mudhoney, although they did conceivably the first grunge song and were the first grunge band, they were not really ever the top grunge band if you look at it like in album sales, money made, all that kind. And guess what? I bet if you talk to them, I don't know, I haven't ever interviewed them, but I bet you if you interviewed them and they're playing still now, like, you know what? We did our thing. We found our thing. We found our niche. We found what made us tick. We found how we got in the flow, and we did it, and we grinded, and we kept going, and we've been doing it for, let's see, I got to do math now, 2022, 1988. And they did it before that, but as Mudhoney, so that's 34 years, and we did it for 34 years. You know what? Most people don't work 34 years in their life, and these guys, most of them, their second or third band, they were in it for 34 years, and they grunged and grinded the hell out of it for 34 years, and they're still good. I didn't get to see them live. I didn't get to see them live or live in person, but I did get to see a recording of them live recently, and they're still just as good. That's what I go to see. The reason I listen to Mudhoney, the reason I go see them in concert is exactly what I saw. It's like, yeah, come on, baby, don't you come with me? Oh, by the way, I know Poppy's not here, but he might watch this on replay. I actually tried to plug my guitar through my effect and then to my Rodecaster, which is how you get sound from my studio to you, the audience of my podcast or live event, whatever you want to call it. It's technically not a podcast. I'm going to make it into one. But I tried to do that. I couldn't figure it out. So I'll figure it out next week just in time for... Oh, actually, we can say it because T put up a thing going, hey, can you guess what the week 4 of Grunge is going to be? And guess what week 4 is going to be? she kind of pointed to the fact that it might be Smashing Pumpkins, you know, for everything I say, I'm still just a rat in a cage, which is one of my favorite songs. But no, it's not that. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. No, that's not it. Shut up, Ben Cover. So the actual is going to be Alice in Chains, Man in the Box. So it went back and forth, because if you haven't heard Man in the Box, some of the lyrics are pretty in your face, but most people misinterpret it. And I bet you there's some people of the religious nature that think Alice in Chains was from the devil, and they totally misunderstand that song. But that's next week. Let's not talk about that right now. We're talking about Mudhoney, Touch Me, I'm Sick. Okay? All right. So anyways, the third quote of the day, alluding to how we can compose our life like a symphony. And why I'm talking like that, I don't know. Oh yeah, I didn't finish the thought. So next week, I will learn how to channel my guitar through my Rodecaster so you can hear me do a guitar solo, which you can thank, wait till next week to where you can either thank John, Poppy, or you can blame him. So depending if you think it's good, wow, that guy's good on guitar. I'm really glad, Poppy suggested that he, Jacob, I'm glad he suggested that Mark do a solo on his show. So, but you will see if I'm good and you like it, thank Poppy. If you don't like it, blame Poppy. But it'll all be my fault because I'll be the one playing guitar. Anyways, that's the story behind things that happen. Life happens. You try to do something. You can't get it done sometimes, and you just move on, and then you try it again. So next week, I'll try it again, and I'll actually start longer than 20 minutes before the show. That's right. I waited until 3:40 and I'm like, I'm not quite sure how I play my guitar through my Rodecaster Pro. And guess what? I still don't know. No, it's not going to. Yeah. I'm just going to put this series up because he cracks me up. So my friend Wayne Gabriel, let's go put this up. What did he say? He said, actually, why are these in the wrong order? Okay, I'm going to put them in the wrong order. So actually, no, so I told him it's going to be Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. He goes, oh, Man in the Box. Right. So what does he do right after that? He says, oh, so which Smashing Pumpkins song will it be? Just to throw me off, just to get me leaning two things. Axes on the wheel. I got to bring it back down. I'm back on track and in the flow. Ha ha. Wayne Gabriel tries, but Wayne Gabriel failed. Anyway, so going to the third quote of the day. We are game playing, fun having creatures. We are the otters of the universe, which is kind of an odd statement because aren't otters the otters of the universe? Anyway, it's by Richard Bach. He's an author. He did Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which is actually my least favorite book by him. But he has one called One. He has a bunch of other books, and I can't remember which is my favorite. One is up there, but he's a really good author. It's kind of one of those reads where, I'm feeling bad about humans. I'm feeling bad about the world. I think I'll read this book, and then if you really get into it and get in the flow with it. See, I brought back flow. And you read the book and you're kind of like, oh, we're not so bad. There's good things in the world. There's good people in the world. Yeah, a lot of crap is happening, Ukraine invasion, COVID. There's other kind of things that can be considered genocide in the continent of Africa that happens all the time. And for some reason, we ignore it. There's autocracies in South America that are abusing people. And for some reason, we don't talk about it. But anyways, there's always crap going on in the world. But guess what? You, as a single person, you can connect with other people and you can make other people's life better, including your own. So back to Richard Bach's statement saying we are the otters of the universe. We're fun, loving, fun intelligent. We can have fun. And that, to me, Mudhoney, if nothing, Mudhoney is, they're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They like grunge. They like the sound. They don't try to improve it and go, you know what? If I tune my guitar better, or, if I play clean, and, I did it unplugged. I'm not going to go out on the limb here, but I don't think Mudhoney ever played unplugged, nor do they want to. I don't know. Maybe they did. And then that totally screws that statement. Anyway, so the last item of the day for Compose Your Life Like a Symphony. You can have fun work hard, and succeed all at the same time. If there's a credo to my life, my working life, that is it. You can have fun, you can work hard, and you can succeed. Unfortunately, several bosses in my past did not believe that and believed I had too much fun. But I have fun with the people around me. I try to get them to enjoy what they're doing. I mean, you're working 40, if you have a regular job in corporate America or wherever, working 40 plus hours away from your family, away from your friends, and you're like working hard and probably not in something that gets you in the flow all the time. And so it's kind of a grind. And so you got to have fun. You got to work hard, have fun, and you will succeed. And those three things, I think, describe Mudhoney as their work practice. They have fun, they work hard, and they are success to me because they've been doing it for 34 freaking years, ladies and gentlemen. 34 freaking years. Sandy Doll had the same issue. Hey, Sandy, good friend of mine from my State Farm days. I mean, she's still my friend, but I met her when I was doing project work with State Farm in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Illinois. Sorry, people that live in Bloomingdale, Illinois, and sorry, people that live in Bloomington. But yeah, it was actually a fun gig. I met a lot of great people, Sandy being one of them. So anyway, so back to that. Let's review the 3 lessons we covered today. And so we can just learn how to compose our life like a symphony. So we can go out there and we can get in the flow. You want to know who had flow? Mozart, Beethoven, those guys had flow. Beethoven was freaking, I don't know how deaf he was because, you know, we didn't have the audiologist and the tests that we have today, but he was deaf when he wrote his 9th symphony. For some people like myself, his 9th symphony is his best freaking symphony by far. So he couldn't even freaking hear, and he wrote one of the best symphonies of all time. How's that? That's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's go to the 3 lessons. If you keep creating, you will keep flowing. And if you keep flowing, you will keep winning. Winning is by your definition. What is winning for you? Don't let other people define what winning means to you. You define winning, and you win, darn it. And then you don't have to be at the top of your field to succeed. The ocean is full of sharks. Find your niche and grind the hell out of it. And I don't ever think I close that point. You know what? I'm going to come back on camera. So for that niche one, I never came back to the point. So in funnels, they're always talking about how the small fry competes with the big fry. So let's say you have a niche market that deals with some alternative medicine, and it's some herbal thing your grandma made and it works really well. And so you put it together. And so then you got to figure out your niche market. So Johnson & Johnson, all the big drug companies, that's their ocean. And the ocean's red with lots of small guys where the big guys just ate them up, ripped them up, and all their blood's flowing in that big ocean. So you got to find a niche and then a sub niche to that niche. And then you'll have a blue area of water. It's all yours. And you can capture that market. So that's what that's talking about. You don't have to go after the big ocean. Just find your niche and you'll work the hell out of it and you'll be successful. So now I'll go back to the 3rd one. You can have fun, work hard, and succeed all at the same time. So don't let anybody tell you different. And by the way, if there's someone who's like, you feel like when you go to work, they're just taking their thumb and they're pressing it down on you, that's a toxic environment. So you got to do what you got to do right by your family. So work as hard as you can. And if you're in a toxic environment and it's not causing you physical anguish yet, start looking for a new job. And if it is causing you physical thing, like you're getting angina and you're getting all stressed out, get the heck out of there. Life's too short. Okay. I know you got to take care of your family and stuff, but you got to get out of a toxic environment because it'll kill you. And then you can't help your family if you're not around, right? So anyway, that's the point. And now, as we end every show, I will talk about my little trademark logo. Well, it's not a logo, but living your best life creates a better world for everyone. And those of you who have come to the show again and again, probably sick of me saying it, but I want to live in a better world. So I'm going to do my best to live my best life. And if I can help you live your best life in any way, DM me. If you're close and you have my phone number, call me, do whatever, email me. I'll see what I can do to help, gratis. I want people to succeed. Obviously, there's things that I do charge for, but I don't charge for that. I charge for things like copywriting and filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. But if you just need support, I am here for you because I want you to live your best life. So with that, I'm going to play the outro and then come back next week because we're going to see how that goes. It's going to be Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. And the weirdest thing is I kept finding the official videos for that, and the official videos changed the S word to spit. I'm like, come on. That softens the whole song. It's not spit, ladies and gentlemen. Just replace the P with an H, and you got the word. But anyway, living your best life creates a better world for everybody. So go out there and live your best life. Here's how I use copyrights and all that kind of stuff. I will see you in a week. Thank you all for coming. Ta-ta for now.